Good morning. Welcome to day 15 of our 30-day challenge. This is the halfway point. And today we're going to just remember again. Every day is a day of remembrance. But today we're going to remember why we started this challenge. What was the purpose? What was the goal? What were we hoping to achieve, to become? Because it's easy to forget. And this is the point where most people have already dropped off. So for those of us who are still here, going strong on this challenge, let's take a moment to reflect on the deeper truth, because I thought about a seed when it came to our challenge, and many of us wrote down little things that we were working on, one or two little things, and what we're becoming is the essence of this challenge. And it's not that we're becoming something foreign or something different. We are remembering something original, something that's inside of us. And a lot of times we miss that. We're not trying to manufacture greatness. We're not trying to make something out of nothing. What we're doing is we're learning to operate from a different perspective, from the perspective that God has already placed inside of us, from the greatness that God has already placed inside of us. The seed is already there. And when you look at an apple seed, if you plant it in the ground, it doesn't have to try to become an apple. It goes through the process. It goes through the metamorphosis of the seed, and it takes time. But it goes through these stages. And of course, there are things that are external to the apple, to the seed, that prevents it or can delay its growth. If you plant the seed in fertile ground and you layer it with concrete, it's going to be almost impossible for that seed to grow, that plant to grow. And so the essence of this is everything is already inside of you. The authority, it's already inside of you. The dominion, it's already inside of you. The wisdom, it's inside of you. It's there. Even the discipline, it's already there. The vision, it's there. So the work that we have to do is not to create anything. The work that we have to do is to remove everything that has already trained you to live beneath that version of you. To remove all of the inherited belief systems that say you can't do it. You're not worthy. Your environment doesn't support it. Your skin tone doesn't support it. Your gender doesn't support it. Your education doesn't support it. That's where the work is. The work is to become that version of you that knows that all things are possible through the God that made you. That with man, yes, your environment matters. With man, yes, your gender matters. In society, yes, your bank account matters. Yes, your environment, your where you grew up matters. Those things matter in society, but where we're operating from, the God that made you, none of those things matter. When we read about the stories in the Bible about Joseph, his environment did not say he was going to be the second in command of Egypt. He was in a foreign land. Who would have predicted that? When you look at Abraham, his age didn't say he was going to be the father of nations. Guess who said it? God did. When you look at Moses, his background, he was a stutterer. They didn't say you were going to be the leader and get the Israelites out of bondage and lead them into freedom. You look at Paul. He was killing Christians, and he's pretty much the founder of this movement that we call Christianity. God speaks, and God has an ideal, and this is an agreement that you made, by the way, an agreement that you can remember, the plan, why you're here, your assignment, your duty. And so when you remove every obstacle that has trained you, and those obstacles are in your mind, those obstacles, they speak to you every day. And what we're doing is we're training our mind muscles, our spiritual muscles, to be able to speak louder than those obstacles. So when that obstacle says you can't do it, the other mind says, yes, I can. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When that obstacle says you're too small, the obstacle says God has equipped me with everything I need. The obstacle says, oh, well, you don't have enough money. Well, guess what? The resources will flow to me according to God's riches and provision. And so this 30-day challenge is not about pretending. It's not about acting. It's about becoming. It's not about imagining something and then going away for the next day and hoping and wishing. It's about making a new agreement and forgetting about the old agreement. The old covenant is gone. Now it's about a new agreement with the version of you that you forgot. The version of you that came to this earth on a mission. And there are things around you that made you forget. Fear made you forget. Pain made you forget. All these events make you forget who you are. Disappointments. You tried so many times. You couldn't have the baby. You couldn't get the promotion. You couldn't get the contract. You couldn't start the business. You keep trying. The relationship, the marriage. None of those things erased your purpose and who you are. They only covered it. They only put a shield over it. They only made it harder for you to get to where you were trying to go to. And that failure, that lack, it made you forget. And sometimes we get in this survival mode, trying to survive. Survival can make you forget. But none of those things erase who you are. None of those things can affect the seed. I've seen plants grow through concrete. I've seen plants grow through rough weather. There's this bamboo tree, the only tree that can survive in certain climates. Because when the wind comes, when the tornadoes come, its roots are so anchored that it can withstand the wind blowing it almost horizontally to the ground. If you've seen these bamboo trees, and there are other trees like that, they can withstand because over time they've built their roots deep. And it's the same for seeds. There are certain seeds they can withstand because over time elements have affected them so much that they can withstand it. And that's the same thing with us. All those things that have happened to you have come to build you, have come to empower you. And so none of those things have erased you. You're still that powerful king, that powerful queen that God made. And you're not a king of others. You're a king of your assignment. You're a queen of your assignment. If your assignment is to be a leader, you're the queen of leadership in your domain. If your assignment is to be a seamstress, you're the queen of seamstress in your domain. There are specific people that have been assigned to you that have that problem that only you can solve, only you can speak to. If you're a manufacturer, you're manufacturing for certain people. Not everyone is going to be your client. Not everyone is going to be your customer, but the ones that God has called for you to serve. And so understand who you are. Understand why you're here. Because a king raised in captivity might behave like a slave, but that doesn't change your bloodline. A king is made through bloodline, marriage. And just because he doesn't have his crown, it doesn't change his identity. He may not recognize his identity. He may not recognize that he's a king. But that doesn't change who he is. It doesn't change what's flowing through his blood. And that's why the belief matters. Yesterday we talked about the belief. That's why belief is not you trying to convince yourself of a lie. It's not you trying to convince yourself of what somebody else told you. Belief is you coming back into agreement with the truth, with the revelation. And where's truth? Truth is what's been revealed to you. Truth is what you've studied. Truth is what you've experienced, not what somebody told you. And the truth that God did not create you empty is something that you can verify because you have visions, you have dreams, you have goals. And when those things come to you, there's another voice that says you can't do it. You can't be it. You can't achieve it. That's how you know it's the truth, because the lies are constantly countering. Lies cannot exist without truth. And the truth that you are not waiting for permission needs to be accepted by you. You don't have to wait for somebody to tell you you can do it. You don't have to wait for the conditions to be in alignment. You have to be in alignment. Your future is not outside of you. That's the truth. Your future is inside of you like the seed. When you look at the apple seed, you don't say that the future of the apple seed is in the ground. The apple is in the seed. And that truth is the higher and highest version of yourself is not a fantasy. I've had some sessions with people and they think that the vision of themselves that they saw is unattainable. And on the other side, I had a conversation with someone, and he's actually in our group, who has attained that future vision of himself that he saw 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and is living proof that it's not a fantasy, that this work that we do is real. So the question that you have to keep asking yourself is not, how do I become somebody new? No, you don't need to become somebody new. It's, what part of me have I been refusing to operate from? The part of me who knows no boundaries, no limitations, no scarcities, no lackness. Because many of us are not underqualified. You might think you're underqualified. It's you're under-identified. You don't walk in the identity that God has created you to be. Because once you begin to walk in that identity, opportunities will come. And the opportunities are coming now, but because you're walking in a scarcity mindset, you can't identify those opportunities. You can't identify the opportunities to be qualified. And sometimes it's not the qualification you need. It's the person with the qualification that's going to help you. Moses had Aaron, remember? Moses couldn't speak. And when Moses told God his lack of qualification, guess what God said? I'll send somebody for you to speak on your behalf. So you think in your mind, I'm not qualified to run this business. Guess what? If you're open and emerge as a leader, the right partner is going to come. You think in your mind, I've got this big franchise that I'm trying to open and I'm not able to do it because I don't have the capacity. Well, guess what? If you remain open, the right franchise partner is going to come. Well, hey, I have this manufacturing business and I want to expand. God has given me this vision to expand. I just don't think that I'm qualified. I don't know. I don't have a business degree. You don't need a business degree. You need an open mind and faith. Stop living from the past of your inadequacy and the wounds. Live from your assignment. Live taking it one step at a time, not from memory. Live from the promise, not from fear. Live from authority. Don't live from what you produced 2 years ago that didn't work, not from the old evidence, but live from the divine identity that God has already given you. And tonight, today, this morning, the challenge is to stop asking God to make you something. Stop asking God to build up something in you while you're ignoring what God has already placed inside of you. You're not trying to become worthy. You are worthy. Move from a position of somebody who's worthy. Learn to move like somebody who already has value. God has created you with intrinsic value. You are not somebody who God made by accident. If God loved you, God loved you so much that God created you. Move like that. You're not trying to become chosen. You claim that you're a child of God. That means you are chosen. And not chosen from among others, but chosen for a specific purpose. So learn to live like somebody who already is. Learn to live like somebody who already is powerful. Don't try to become powerful. What does it mean today? What would today, tomorrow look like if you understood the power that God had placed inside of you? Stop surrendering to defeat. Stop surrendering to fear. Stop surrendering to lack. Every time you make a decision and then hesitate, you're surrendering. Every time money gets a vote at the table, you're surrendering to money, and money has become your master. This transformation that we're going to, it's not an addition to your life. Okay, it's a revelation. It's revealing what's already inside of you. It's alignment. And the real you is not somebody that's being built from scratch. The real you is somebody who's being uncovered. So today, let's think about why we're doing this, what we're uncovering, the seed that God has planted inside of us, who we're meant to be. And let's give thanks. Give thanks that God trusted you enough to put that vision inside of you. And let today be a wonderful day. This is our halfway point, and this is the point where we can either start over, or we can continue, or we can give up. We all have decisions to make. We all have a choice. Let's strive for excellence. Let's strive, and let's strive to become that version of ourselves. No acting, no pretending, just becoming, being